I'd like to start this short talk by just reading you a piece of scripture, and then I'll explain why I'm reading this. And it's from Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here I am. Send me." That quote comes from, it also appears in a movie called Fury, in which Shia LaBeouf plays an actor in this. It's a war movie. Do recommend you read it. And he's there with a group of men in war in a tank, and he says that exact verse. Okay, and somebody shared it with me recently. I put up a video the other day about Cardinal Roach calling us Protestants, and I mean, it really got massive commentary on it of all sorts, and I feel the pain. I truly, people don't understand this. I feel the pain. I love this church. I love my faith. I love what Christ is doing. But I would just ask people to take a step up on what is going on in this moment in the church. That video that Bishop Barron published with Shia LaBeouf, that video itself, that discussion has brought traditional Latin Mass, has brought what we love most sacred to the forefront of Catholicism in a way nobody could have planned and nobody could have expected. It is now trending to become the most discussed topic in Catholicism in this moment of time, in multiple languages. I'm looking at videos in Spanish and Polish, and the ripple effects all around the world. Why a young man who was never educated in that rite suddenly loves it. And people can write off Shia LaBeouf. Oh, this is flash in the pan. This is all aggrandizement. He's just promoting his film. Blah blah blah. He used a curse word in the movie, etc., etc., etc. There's millions of ways to write off this man. Instead of what we should be doing as Catholics is providing mentorship, leadership, encouragement to him, no matter who he is and no matter what state in life it is. I mean, we've seen the commentary coming from Rome, from Massimo Farajoli, from Cardinal Roach, from Austin Ivory, all of these that are aligned with Pope Francis, poo-pooing his experience. Now, why would he want that? I'd like to understand why he likes the traditional Latin Mass. He shouldn't be liking it, basically what they're saying. That's going out the door. Laity need to get with the dumbed down, desacralized Novus Ordo that can't get its act together. This is what Rome seems to be putting at us. I have to be very strong here. We need to provide leadership, but we also need to be humble and do this with love. We have to be humble. God will move his army when he needs to move it. We are saying, send me to God. And God will move us when he needs to move us. But we need to do it with humility and love. There are people that go to Novus Ordo that deeply, deeply love that Mass and have a deep unity with Christ and prayer. And there are many priests that celebrate it with extreme reverence and love and care and attention, forming souls in a sacramental life. That is happening. And we should never reject their experience and their love for the church and their profound humility. Never, as Catholics who love the traditional Latin Mass. We are no better than them. But our lived experience, and I can see it, I put a video up and it just goes viral, it just goes out there. And you can see the pain of so many Catholics like myself. Our lived experience has been rejected. What we hold most sacred and dear has been rejected. There is no leadership. There is no father in Rome that would talk to us, that will respect us, that will dialogue with us. Our sacramental life, our prayer life, and what we hold most dear and most sacred. And it's not because we're superior. It's because Christ is important to us, and I just need that. I just need that, level of prayer in my life. If I didn't have that, I'd be a million times worse. People that know me know how broken I am. I need to encounter Christ in the silence of Calvary at the traditional Latin Mass, or at some of the other sacred rites in the church that, point us to as Sheila Buff saying, point us to the agency of what the priest is doing. He's activating us. The priest is leading us in prayer. He has dedicated his life, or he should have dedicated his life, to prayer, to the highest form of prayer, and to open that reality to us. So don't lose faith. Don't ever lose faith. Trust in God. Pray for the church. Pray for the Pope. Pray for Cardinal Roche, that they may see what we love, that they may understand what we love, and that others may understand. We cannot be the agents of division in our church. If we're dividing the church, we're just causing more pain and more anger. That's not how Catholics do it. And as I said, there are many saints who go and to the Novus Ordo, many people that have been formed there, true saints who have given their heart to Christ with humility and love. They are there. That's their lived experience. But there are others like myself that I just can't draw myself away from the traditional Latin Mass. I don't know why. And this is the church's fault. I hand this back to the popes, the two living popes. You had one pope that encouraged me, and you have another pope that discourages me. You have one pope that said, go forward, Robert. If that's what you want to experience, go into that spirituality. Experience the traditional Latin Mass. Go to it. That's what Pope Benedict was saying. And we've another pope that's doing the opposite, and it just doesn't make sense to many laity like myself. One time we're encouraged and the other time we're shoved off. In the synodal process, there is no room for us. We were not asked to give our opinion. There's no report from the Society of St. Pius X. We are not part of this process. If we were part of this process, then they would never have published that document during what is one of the most monumental changes in the church, the synodality. They would have waited till afterwards so that we could have been part of that. But we were told to go away. We're not allowed to advertise our masses in a parish bulletin or even have them in a parish. We're shunted aside as Protestants, in effect. That's what Cardinal Roche has called us. He used that word. We are Protestants. Protestant. I don't know how I could be a Protestant for following what Pope Benedict opened up for us. And it's deeply hurtful, to be honest, to be called that. Or to even assume that we are like that. And then for Cardinal Roche to say, it's still available. The traditional Latin Mass is still available. Like, he's being very demeaning and hurtful. And that is causing division in the church. He's not a father of the faith. I'm sorry to say, Cardinal Roche is not a father of the faith. He's not a father of the faith. If that's the way he treats our lived experience of Catholicism that was opened up to us. The Vatican, the Pope, the Holy Father opened this up. He didn't need to open it up to us. He could have left it to the margins of it. The Pope, two popes, opened traditional Latin Mass up to us. You have Pope Benedict that issued Summorum Pontificum, and then you have Pope Francis saying it was licit and valid to go to the Society of St. Pius X for confession. The popes did this. I would never have gone to the Society of St. Pius X for confession if Pope Francis had not said it was licit and valid. And then when you see the communities they have, when you see the priests they have, the formation they have, and they're not perfect by any means. We know the problems. They are not perfect. But they're fathers, they're struggling, like many of us, to try and teach us the faith. Do you get me? There's something seriously wrong with these two popes in Rome that cannot get their act together as regards to laity who love the traditional Latin Mass. And now we have an actor, Shia LaBeouf, who is come to the forefront of what we hold dear and sacred being sidelines and rejected. No, that's not right, your lived experience, Shia. Please go away and rethink it. It's time you start coming back to some guitar playing Novus Ordo. And you might find a unicorn mass somewhere in the US that says the mass in Latin, and you'll be okay there, Shia. We'll get you fixed up. That's what Rome seems to be doing. I don't know. I have no idea. As I said, I'm just speaking from the heart. I love my church. I'm not Protestant. I walked with the church, and now I'm told to walk away from the church, seemingly. I walked with the church. I go to both masses. And to voice an opinion, to say what is most precious to me, where I find the earth-shattering cosmic drama of Calvary, is the traditional Latin Mass. It simply is. I can't say it any other way. It's healed me in so many levels. And it was offered by the church. Promoted by the church. Promoted by Pope Benedict. Every priest was allowed to say, what is wrong with prayer? What is wrong with it? There's something seriously wrong, guys, in what's happening in the church at this moment. There's something, it is unprecedented, the way Catholics are being treated. Laity. You're being pushed in one direction and then pushed in another direction, then pushed in this direction. No, you can't have this. Yes, you can have this. No, you can't have this. Like, what other organization would do this? And then your lived experience of the faith is being rejected. After it was promoted. I mean, you couldn't make this up anyway. Look, pray for the church, but don't be too harsh on Cardinal Roach or on the Pope. Pray for them. As I said, nobody could have invented that interview that Bishop Barron gave. I mean, there was better promotion for traditional Latin Mass and for what we hold sacred could not have been planned. It just got global media coverage and got the cardinals and the Pope talking in Rome. It did. And to laity, I have to say, you need to stand your ground. You need to stand your ground on what you hold sacred. Priests need to stand their ground on what they know to be sacred and true. And what Pope Benedict said, that what was sacred for previous generations is sacred for us and can't all of a sudden be considered forbidden or harmful. It can't. It can't. The Mass of St. Teresa of Lisieux can't be sinful or harmful for our spiritual life of today. The reverence, the way a priest prays the Mass, it can't be. Otherwise, we've been giving something harmful to saints for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. What is wrong with the silence? If we're nourished in the silence of a traditional, if we are actively participating in that Mass, we know every word in Latin that the priest is saying, we're following that Mass. Our hearts are engaged in that Mass. If we are engaged in that Mass, 100% with our participation, with our prayer, what is wrong with that? Can somebody please explain what's going on in the church? Maybe there is a father of the faith that will listen to us someday. I don't know. Maybe there will be. But this is the way the children of the church are being treated in this moment in time. We were offered... I didn't grow up in the... I mean, I discovered this later in life. I don't see what's wrong with it. Why should I be discouraged from going to the communities I know and the friends I've made? You know, it's deeply sad. It's deeply sad and it's painful, to be honest. But, you know, God moves in when he will move, you know. And I do encourage people to read Isaiah chapter 6. It's quite prophetic, you know, that phrase that Shia LaBeouf used in the movie Fury. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? But, you know, pray for the church. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.